This is an add-on to the one where they were showing all the different vibrations as God, right? As less than gods, lower than gods of the highest and greatest of all. And it was kind of like anytime anybody submitted to a lower energy, right? They gave in to fear. They gave in to envy, jealousy, just lower vibrations, right? They're submitting to that God, and that God then is controlling their mind, their vessel, right? Because often I'll say, like, God, flow to me and through me, for my highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good of all, right? It's like I'm inviting in unconditional love to heal me, flood me, show me, teach me, this kind of thing. And we could go on and on with that, but so you get the idea. And people are doing that all the time without knowing, without conscious recognition, every time they move from fear, right? So they allow that energy to control them. They allow the energy of fear. They allow the God of fear. They allow the God of jealousy. They allow the God of envy. Now, the only way to kick that God out and to up level is to face that fear, to fight what's happening inside of you, right? So it can seem like you're fighting your inner knowing. It can seem like you're fighting yourself. You are, essentially, right? You have allowed that God to take over and run your show. So until you turn and face the God within, face that fear within, and go against it, right? So go against what you think is your better judgment. So like if you've been run by jealousy, you're jealous all the time, and you're like, no more. No, why would I be jealous? I love me. There's nothing to be jealous of. Everything is beautiful and allowed. It's like, I don't need to look outside of me. I'm not comparing or competing, right? Like, however you want to say it or visualize it or understand, whatever your thing is, right? So then see clearly on it, understand it, face it, and release it. But you have to follow through. In other words, if you still go around and you're jealous, then it's still controlling you. So you have to work on that. You have to work on proving that you're not submitting to that lower energy, those lower thought forms. And so you have to keep facing it, to keep up leveling. And, oh man, there was so much that was coming through just now. It was like, showing me like when unconditional love is flooding me and flowing through me, it's pure bliss. And it has become more and more familiar to me. At times I don't even necessarily recognize it. And other times it'll hit me like a ton of bricks. But then there's times when it's like if I drop, right? It's like if it's like, oh, how do I say this? They were showing, like, this is the idea of depression, right? It's like people can get depressed because it's like they feel that unconditional love left them, and it's an illusion, and yet that illusion can have you devastated. And so you have to get back in alignment with you so you can reconnect. And so you have to see where you left your alignment, where you went against yourself when you were in connection with unconditional love. So like previously, you want to go against yourself if you are being controlled by a lower, less than God, right? But not when you're in alignment with unconditional love. And so it's like, don't drop out of what feels good. Don't allow like a less than to lure you away, to entice you. Why would you settle for less than? It doesn't make sense, and yet we do it. And because you fall prey to the illusion, you get sales pitched, you get convinced, you get confused, right? You're like, wait, what? You get twisted, and then you get tricked out, right? When you start to doubt yourself, and listen to that outside yourself. Oh, there was more here. It was, and I'm going through our conversation, reminding me in my head, but I don't want to share all of that, but it was, there was parts of it I wanted to share. So yeah, and I'm not sure how to verbalize this part, but it's like when you're going, it's like up the ranks, when you're going up the ladder, right? When you're like, if you're looking at the ladder, like the lowest rung is that deep despair or helplessness, hopelessness, depression, this kind of thing. And as you walk up the scale and you reach higher levels, you know how challenging it can be, right? To climb up, 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 and then slide, up, 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 and slide, up, 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 and slide. And it's like you have to integrate that stuff along the way. You can't just race to the top because you usually aren't integrating it or understanding it. So it's a quicker drop down. And seems more challenging or longer or difficult, all these things. So it's showing like it's good and bad, because then when you get to the top, you're like, you're exhausted. You know how hard you worked to get there, and you took the time to integrate it and learn the lessons. So you value it that much more, right? And you hold on that much tighter. And so it's also that much more devastating when you drop out from unconditional love. Because it can feel like, are you kidding, all that to drop out? Like, how would that be? And I'm trying to get to that. There was a good part of this conversation because it was like, once you reach unconditional love, though, and then you say, take over, like order my steps, all these things. And then at times it does feel like you fall to the illusion and you feel like you made a wrong misstep. And I've shared this with you before, where there's times where I will be devastated and be so upset and feeling like I, quote, did something wrong or went against myself. And the way they just showed it, it's like, but once you're in union and you say, order my steps, right? Like you are fully in union, and then you allow unconditional love to take over, you're not going to be able to see the big picture or understand everything. And so there's times where things will happen and you're like, how did that happen? What did I do? I slipped out, whatever. And it's like, no, forgive yourself. Remember, that was for a purpose that is none of your business. It was for somebody else. It was a lesson for somebody else, but we had to use you as bait, this kind of thing. And then they get you back in alignment. And that can be challenging on one's mind, or it has been for me, right? Like they'll show me things, and so then I think I'm being obedient to unconditional love, but then it'll happen, and then I'll be like devastated because it feels like I tricked myself, right? Like that's not what I wanted. And it's like, well, no, but it's what unconditional love wanted, and there's a bigger purpose that you're not aware of just yet. And so I have to like get over that, because then I beat myself up and I have to forgive myself. But then that's what they were showing me through that process was release it, relax, and let go, right? Because unconditional love forgives you, because unconditional love is unconditional. You're here to learn, to up-level, to feel, to experience, to decide, to decipher. And, oh God, it's so hard to verbalize all this. So then it's like nothing wrong really ever happens, especially if you're learning. And again, if you reach that point of unconditional love, then it is like there's nothing to forgive, in that he was ordering your steps. So then you would be disappointed in unconditional love if you are upset with something, so you can release it that way. I think it's really hard for me to say it this way, because I think I'm still like grappling with it. I liked how they showed it, and it felt it in real time, but now as I try to rehash it, it seems a little more challenging because of my humanness getting sticky in the way. It is that idea of just release and let go, and it's all okay. That's it. There's something right there. It's like before you have reached that point, though, the climbing and slipping, the climbing and the slipping, the climbing and the slipping has been so painful that even though you had reached a certain point and were told all is okay and there's no slipping from there, you're still scared because you still recall all the previous slippage and how detrimental that was. So it's almost like you don't believe it yet. You almost don't believe the new contract that it's okay, right? It's like accepting that new understanding once you reach that level can be a challenge because you hadn't necessarily received that contract prior. And so you had continued to slip. So it was like, well, in the past, but in the past you hadn't received the contract that all is okay now. And now you have. So you have to believe that new contract and not rely on the past experiences, because those aren't, it's not valid anymore. They're no longer, I don't know how to say it. It's like, it's just different now. Something about that, something about like that new level, right? That new understanding, that new contract. It's something all along those lines, but I'm still, it's like the residual fear or something, or the past memory, or the old, it is like vibration or something is like stuck. And funny, like today I have felt like fluish, right? Like sinuses and a little heated, like my whole body is heated. And I haven't even worked out yet, so it's not like that. I mean, it's just naturally much higher. My heat level is much higher than normal, the temperature. And even like a slight headache, like sinus headache, like kind of thing. Okay, I gotta jump off. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.